Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go Formula One, the best Formula One YouTube channel, and your favourite one as well. Make sure you click subscribe. What we're going to do here is a quick preview before the Bahrain Grand Prix, where we're just going to go through all the biggest headlines and news stories of the week heading into the race, and then I'm going to make a couple of predictions for the race as well, and we're going to tie us all up in a lovely little bow. It'll be fantastic. So let's start with the biggest news story of the week, which actually came out today, and it's to do with this man, Lance Stroll, who is back. Despite everything, he's back. A few weeks ago, he had the incident on his bike where he fell and broke his wrist. There was rumours that he broke both of his wrists, but that doesn't seem to be true. Everyone was speculating that there was no chance he would be back for this weekend. Even I was saying that. In the testing videos, I think I even said that I think he'd missed 2 or 3 races, about how it takes like a month to recover from a broken wrist, and there's no chance he can do it. But he's back, somehow, which is bad news for Felipe Drugovich, who is the reserve driver, who I think did a fantastic job in the testing sessions that he did. But Lance is back, so Lance is getting back in the car. The main thing is, good thing Lance is healthy and back in the car. He has been in the simulator, and he said in an interview today that they put the force feedback on the steering wheel up to max to truly test his wrists, which sounds like a quick way to break your wrists again. But we've got the photo here of him doing the media, but there's also this other photo where you can see there's a plaster on his wrist here. There might be a spot of blood, actually, in the middle of it there. Apparently he had minor surgery on his left wrist earlier this week, I believe it was, and the FIA run the test and say that he's fine. I mean, it's quite unbelievable, really, that he's going to be okay. Big day for him tomorrow in the practice sessions. That'll be his first chance to actually be in the car proper, and there's a lot of catching up for him to do. I mean, Fernando Alonso did a total of 4 of the testing sessions over the last week, so he's quite far behind Alonso, so hopefully he can get to grips with the car quite quickly, especially considering the position Aston are in, where they might have a very good car on their hands. But it does turn out that both Aston drivers are actually superhuman, because Fernando Alonso has revealed today in an interview that back at the Australian race last year, during qualifying, Alonso was involved in a crash where something on the car failed and he ended up crashing into the wall whilst on quite a fast lap. At the time he said that he was feeling fine, but now he was revealed that he had broken multiple bones in both hands. And not only did he race the next day, but he said that his hands did not heal until the summer break. Now, between Australia and the summer break, there were 10 races. So last year, Alonso did 10 full race weekends with multiple broken bones in both of his hands. So both the Aston lads here are superhuman beings and should be studied upon, because, I mean, the amount they went through, it's incredible. I think I would not be surprised if Lance is in quite a bit of pain during the race, especially the G-forces they get, and if he's broken his wrist, and even with the surgery, I mean, I'm surprised he's been cleared, but the doctors probably and hopefully know better than I do. But it won't just be 2 Aston Martin Formula 1 cars on the grid in Bahrain this weekend, because there'll be 2 FIA official Aston Martin cars, as they have introduced this bad boy here. Now, last year we had already introduced the Aston Martin safety car. This year we introduced the Aston Martin medical car. Now, this is based upon the new Aston Martin SUV that I've forgotten the name of, but it's the one that Lawrence Stroll says is the fastest SUV in the world. And this will now replace the Formula 1 medical car. So this car here will be the one that follows around the back on the formation lap and sees them off at the start. And also, if there's any people having an injury or anything like that, any crashes, we'll see this medical car drive up to them and give them a lift back to the paddock, unless they get on the back of a moped or whatever. So 2 official FIA Aston Martin cars, which is fantastic. Next, let's talk about this man, Franz Tost, who is the team principal for Alpha Tauri. Now, there's been quite a few rumours about Alpha Tauri going around at the minute that they're going to be sold, but Franz Tost has said, rest assured, this isn't true. His quote says, there are no foundations for the rumours of the F1 sale of Alpha Tauri. And, whenever someone puts out a statement like this, it always goes extremely badly for them. Like Ricciardo last year putting out a statement that he will definitely fulfill the end of his contract with McLaren. A few months later, he was released from that contract. Or Ferrari, an official statement, we are 100% behind Binotto. He's going to be our team principal next year, before being fired a few weeks later. Or Otmar Safnauer going, the rumours of me leaving Aston to join Alpine are completely false, a few weeks before leaving Aston to join Alpine. So the statement here saying there are no foundations for the rumours of the sale of Alpha Tauri. Let's wait and see. But from bad news for Alpha Tauri to good news for Formula One fans. The Spanish Grand Prix. Now, it's a few months away, the Spanish Grand Prix. But when we get there, we will no longer be going on the chicane. So normally this is the end sector here of the Spanish Grand Prix. We'd come along here, slow right down to here, slow even slower through here, even slower, and go along. Now we have one corner straight, another corner, meaning that the Spanish Grand Prix finishes a lot quicker, there's better overtaking opportunities, and just makes the entire track so much more fun for everyone involved, viewers, drivers, and people like me who play the F1 game and always spin out on the curbs of that chicane. Fernando Alonso has spoken about this as this is changes to his home race. He says he's quite in favour of the changes because it will make the track faster, but also because last time Formula One raced here without the chicane, he was driving, and he's the only driver who was racing that race who's still racing in F1 today. So he says it gives him an advantage. So let's see how that goes. Final bit of news before we move on to our predictions is about this lady here, Suzie Wolff, because she's had a new job this week. She is now the Managing Director of F1 Academy. Now, F1 Academy is the new series that's come in, the new feeder series to replace W Series, which went out of business last year. It's the female-based racing series designed to get women through the motorsport series eventually into Formula One. So Suzie Wolff will be heading that, and I think that's a fantastic decision there, because Suzie Wolff, at the last few decades, is the closest any woman has ever got to racing in Formula One. She was the Williams test driver in the early 2010s. I don't think she ever fully became reserve driver, but she was very well integrated into that team, and she did good work there, And also in the last few years, she's been the team principal and CEO of a Formula E team. I don't follow Formula E as much as I should, but I've heard very good things about how she ran that there. So I think she's a fantastic choice for this, and hopefully F1 Academy does well. I think the downfall of W Series, and the reason that eventually had to close its doors, was that it was a feeder series designed to have progression into motorsport, which had no progression into motorsport. You had someone like Jamie Chadwick, who out of the 3 years of W Series was champion all 3 times, who it seemed that Formula 2, Formula 3 wanted nothing to do with, for whatever reason. I'm not really sure what that reason was, but I mean, if you win the championship 3 times, and that championship is designed to get you into Formula 2 or Formula 3, and Formula 2 and Formula 3 don't want to touch you, then, there's something wrong with that series. So hopefully F1 Academy can fix that, and I wish them all the best. Moving on now, though, to the predictions for the Bahrain Grand Prix. I've got my 2 predictions here, and I've tried to make them a little bit interesting. I haven't just gone Max Verstappen will win. I've gone for, in qualifying, Mercedes will be faster than Aston Martin, but in the race, Aston Martin will be faster than Mercedes. It's two predictions there. My scribbly writing. 2 predictions for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Let me know your predictions. Now, what's coming up next for the channel. Tomorrow there is a video of season predictions. I rank the drivers 20th to 1st in order what I think, how I think they'll finish at the end of the season. Then, if there's anything that goes down big tomorrow in practice, I'll come back here and talk about it. Then over the weekend, qualifying on Saturday, race on Sunday. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to do videos after qualifying. It depends on really if there's anything big that goes down. But I'll definitely be up here after the race to discuss everything. I'm also going to desperately try and get more invested into Formula 2 and Formula 3 this year, because they're series that have always interested me. I've always really wanted to get into them, and I just never have for whatever reason. So this is the year that I get into F2 and F3, so I'm hoping to make some videos on those as well. So all the fun of the fair. It's a very exciting weekend, and I just can't wait. Tomorrow, practice, we get to see a little bit what the grid is going to be like, although I imagine he will still hold stuff back until that very last second in qualifying. But we're one step closer to knowing the true form of all the teams on the grid, and that's what we're really interested in. So, until next time, have a good day. I'll see you later. Goodbye.